Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products. Visit Regina Motor Products today for a no-charge brake inspection and save up to $120 off GM genuine parts, brake pads, and rotors. Offer ends May 31st at Regina Motor Products only. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
100 years for that old guy. 620 CKRM. That's right. That's where we're at. We're also streaming, as he said. And we're on our YouTube channel. Thanks for making time on this Wednesday for Regina Motor Products, where you can go in and you get brake pads, rotors, free brake inspection. Sounds about right before the summer. Offer ends May 31st. The show today, Curtis is with me. I called it in our pre-production meeting an eclectic show. We're going a number of different directions. Thankfully, it's called a sports show. Thankfully, we're also here to entertain as well. We're going to talk Stanley Cup final recap. What did you think? What did you think about that game? Did you watch that game? If you watched that game and everyone said, well, it's Vegas and Carolina, that was entertaining. The back and forth at times. It was like a senior hockey game or a rec game or a minor hockey game where it's like no lead is safe. We'll talk about that. We're getting our CFL East Division predictions on the SportsCage.com website. I want to know what you also think about the East Division this year. Or are you thinking about the East Division? I know a lot of the CFL hardos out there probably got it dialed. You'll want to message us. Let us know what you think. Ken Wiebe. He is from the Winnipeg Free Press, covers the Winnipeg Jets often, but now he's covering the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Ken's going to be with us in about 8 minutes' time here. We're going to get a preview of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. An older squad is what we see on paper. What are we expecting out of the Bombers, or what are the faithful in Winnipeg expecting out of the Bombers? Kenny Wiebe will talk to us in, like I said, 8 minutes' time. Lee Kormish, he's our soccer insider. This World Cup is coming up. Not a huge soccer guy, but I will watch it. It's a big deal. Lee is traveling around with Team Canada, so we'll talk to him in hour one. We'll have Sprinkle of the Day. Hour two, joining us from the Stanley Cup final in Raleigh, North Carolina. At least that's where he said he is. Eric Francis in hour two. We will have our Prairie Golf Gems feature, second one of the year. We'll talk to the head pro of the Cook Municipal Golf Course in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. What a gem up there. Hour three, it's our midweek sound off with Scott Schultz on this bye week. And we'll have more on the NHL. That's the program for Regina Motor Products. How do you participate? All the regulars, you know the number, 306-936-6262. But I want some new blood today. Maybe you're seating. It's raining in Regina. I don't know what it's like around the province. Lounge was saying you got to watch out for funnel clouds today. So keep an eye on that in southern Saskatchewan. 936-6262. We like when you participate. You can get to the YouTube chat as well. It's all brought to you by Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. They're a Husqvarna dealer, and they can rent you pretty much anything you need for that job if you don't want to buy something from Husqvarna there. Western Pizza Guest Hotline. That's how our guests join us. Western Pizza, enough said. Oh, the beautiful pizza, all the toppings, then all the Greek favorites you love. Visit your local Western Pizza tonight. All right. The Stanley Cup game. Curtis doesn't have cable. I don't know if you have a TV. You said you bought a TV. Is it in your possession, or is it one of those you put it on layaway? Do they still have layaway? Is layaway still a thing? Places, or do you have actually the TV in your possession?
I have a TV in my possession, and depending who you ask, I did steal it.
Not from the apartment hallway like you did in Fort McMurray, though?
No. I have an older brother, and he did a big move, so he had a lot of extra stuff that he couldn't take with him, and one of those things was a nice new 65-inch TV. So we're loaded, baby.
What's the brand?
I think it's like an RCA.
Yes. That thing won't last you very long. RCA TVs don't last very long. They're like...
Don't tell me that.
They're like Samsung fridges with freezers in them. The worst. When you get older and you go to buy appliances, I'm telling you this right now, do not buy a Samsung fridge with an ice maker. If we leave this whole operation we do with one thing, if I pass on one word of wisdom to you, it's do not buy a Samsung fridge with an ice maker.
You pass along a lot of wisdom to me, Barney. Like, you're telling me to watch UHF.
Yeah.
Don't buy a fridge.
What a great 1989 you said that movie was released and you've never seen it, and I said this weekend can you please watch UHF?
I might, and I have a TV that I can watch it with.
Weird Al Yankovic is in it. You might want to grab a case of beer, maybe something from your local dispensary so you can laugh even more and go after it. Sit in your did you get any kind of furniture from your brother?
Yes, I got a lot of stuff, actually. I got a bedroom set, I got a couch, and a chair, so no more just rocking the beanbag chair. I had a wine fridge. What else did I get?
It was like you were on The Price is Right for the final showcase showdown.
Yes.
And you just won one of those. Did you get a China cabinet? Because they like to give away those.
No. But to be honest, there was a lot of things that a guy was kind of like holding out for where I'm like, if I was going to like move places, maybe I should not buy all this stuff. But then I finally pulled the trigger, especially the price is right. Free.
Have you ever watched Price is Right?
I have seen the Price is Right.
So that's all you got. You got the crappy showcase showdown. Because it's like, wasn't it always the first one that wasn't very good? It was like bedroom set,
option one,
a coffee table, and then something that you would like never use for your backyard. And then the second one was like a new Jeep, a trip to Aruba, and if you didn't pass, you were choked. It's like, man, a coffee table.
What about the mystery behind door number 3? Ooh,
they never had that on Prices Right. Don't go off the rails here. I always found it was funny where there was like somebody from Omaha, and they would win like a catamaran. It's like, I don't know if that's gonna work for you very well there on the prairies. You're gonna get the catamaran out.
Speaking of winning, though, my clean sweep bet for the Carolina Hurricanes, not looking so hot all of a sudden, hey?
Definitely not. I'm glad you didn't actually sprinkle on it. It was all for fun. That's what we do here. But what a back and forth game. Nikolai Ehlers coming out. Jets fans, 25 seconds in. It was one of the fastest goals in Stanley Cup playoff history in game 1. 2-0. And I'm sitting there going, do I hit an in-play bet for the Golden Knights to come back? Because that's been really, really good. Sorry, you might want to come over here and grab this. And 936-6262 if you're laying down what I'm saying here and if you placed any bets. And then, of course, Vegas scores 2-1. And then they score in the first, 30 seconds of the second period. And now we got a hockey game. And it's back and forth. And no lead safe. And Vegas has given the puck away. And Carolina transitioned it. I was like, ooh, do they know of something that no one else knew about? But then Vegas kind of did their thing. They got it low. Their guys started buzzing. Shot from the point, tip in. I don't know. I think it's an exciting series. I think we're in for an exciting series. I totally get, though, if people don't really want to watch it because it's Vegas and Carolina. And I know it's like been kind of it's been kind of spoiled Canadian, the patriotic Canadians that want to see a Canadian team in with Edmonton in the last 2 years. A lot of people were hoping for Montreal, but we're in for an exciting series. Seth on the Prairie Land Rentals text line says, I'm still loving Vegas in 5. Yeah. I didn't place a series wager on it. I just hit with a rash if you tuned into the show yesterday, with a rash on the line, he said, take, well, let's just go back. And a rash, you were here. He said, who's the player? He said, and I'm like, okay, I'm hitting it. I got to go back here a second.
I only mildly listen, not going to lie. I didn't write it down like Colson would.
He said Mitch Marner.
Mitch Marner? Oh, yeah.
He said Marner, and then I said, okay, and then we'll take Stankoven. And Stankoven gets a point late, so we hit that one. And then on my own, I took Barbashev and Howden, parlayed point. They hit. And then my Vegas money line, but I would have loved to hit Vegas when they were down 2-0. Oh, would I love to hit Vegas when they were down 2-0. Okay, text messages. Jeez, you guys are on the ball. Ed, a couple of doozies from Ed here. RCA is a placeholder until he comes across something else in the hallway. Or he gets that big bonus. Or maybe he's going on a game show and he's going to win something a little bit better. Yeah. RCA TVs, though, the longevity won't be there. I'm just warning you now. You might not watch a lot of TV, though. It's
not like I spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't like to spend money on TVs. It's a principle of mine. Brother
gave it to you. And Ed, good job. Good job, Ed. Stanley Spadowski's Playhouse. You're going to know about that. After this weekend, you will know about Stanley Spadowski's Playhouse. Michael Richards, pre-Seinfeld, is one of the lead characters in UHF. So you got Weird Al Yankovic. You got Michael Richards, Stanley Spadowski. The Oriental guy's hilarious. Wheel of Fish. You're going to love it. What's his name?
Would you hate me if I told you I haven't seen Seinfeld either?
Yeah, I don't know if we can work together.
The current thing that I'm the list right now, I started watching Friends because I haven't seen that either. So working my way through it. The 90s show.
James texting it. I don't know if I can read this one though. It sounds aggressive, but thanks, James. I don't know if you've seen. Pat is saying best appliances, Bosch or Frigidaire. I agree. Although to get parts for a Bosch, Pat, not easy. Worth the money. As long as you don't buy a Samsung fridge with the ice maker, everybody's okay. It doesn't matter how cheaper it is than the other one. My wife and I learned the hard way, and we were told by my sister, do not, and we did. I got a music question for people out on the text line, and we're going to go through this for the program. I might ask every guest. I don't want to offend anybody, okay? If you're offended by this, you've got problems. I do not like The Doors.
The Doors?
I've never liked The Doors. I don't understand the draw with The Doors because, in the show we like to talk music. In 1967, The Doors' Light My Fire was released in the U.S., where it went on to be number 1 on the singles chart 2 months later. When The Doors were booked to appear on the Ed Sullivan Show, I know this story. They were asked to change the line, "Girl, we couldn't get much higher," as the sponsors were uncomfortable with the possible reference to drug taking. The band agreed to do so, and in rehearsal, they amended the lyrics. However, during the live performance, lead singer Jim Morris sang, the original lyrics, which they were informed they will never appear on the Ed Sullivan Show again. Ed Sullivan was an interesting looking cat.
You don't like the Doors.
Do you like the Doors? You've never seen Seinfeld, so I don't know if I'm ever taking anything that you think.
Like
say.
Riders on the Storm, the Doors?
Yeah, can't stand it.
That's a good tune.
Can't stand it, man.
When I think of that song, though, I always think of what is it? Like, there was a game that I played growing up. It was like Need for Speed.
Rad Racer? RC Pro-Am?
No.
Excite Bike?
I forget which, but it was like a Snoop Dogg flip of Riders on the Storm. So that's always how I originally heard the song, but I do know the actual song is by the Doors.
I think some of our faithful listeners that text in, like a guy like Roscoe, I feel he's going to text the Prairie Land Rentals text line 936-6262, and he's going to be a Doors guy. I love you guys. I'm not here to fight. I'm just saying, not a Doors fan. I want to know where people land on the Doors. SportsCage listeners, where do you land on it? Maybe a new segment for the show. Where do you land on things? And today it's the Doors. We're going to find out where you land on the Doors. We'll find out where all of our guests land on the Doors as well. Okay, let's talk some CFL football when we get back. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers down the road. They seem old. Old man Caleros is back at the helm. Let's talk to Kenny Wiebe when we get back. It's a Sports Cage for Regina Motor Product. Listeners, thank you. You're making this fun on a Wednesday. Jeffrey, really like him. He puts it this way: the Doors are like caviar. Everybody says they like, but secretly hate. Captain Harvey, I'm putting you down as a like in caps locked. What the heck? You hate the Doors? My goodness. Also, I was correct. Roscoe is a Doors guy. He texted in right away, so keep him coming. 936-6262. You guys are hilarious. Yeah, yell at me. I'm not a Doors guy. Western pizza tonight. Why wouldn't you? This guy loves a nice slice of Western pizza when he's in town. Joining us from the Winnipeg Free Press, Kenny Wiebe. Okay, go after me. Go after me. Are you mad?
No. Not mad. I don't like them enough to be mad, but you can mark me down for yes for the Doors. Doors guy, yes. Okay. Jim Morrison knew what he was doing. Talented artist.
It probably was talented.
You don't have to love all the songs. You don't have to love all the songs, but they got some good tunes.
Jennifer Nettles, I mentioned yesterday, and somebody messaged about that. They're like, you don't like Sugarland? I'm like, I have to change the channel immediately when I hear it. The Doors is like one of those sayings I just can't get into it. But yeah, I got you down, Kenny, for a like. Okay, you're doing. I love it. You're doing some coverage of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this year, which is great because you know your stuff, and we can find you obviously on Twitter at Wiebe's World, and then through the Free Press. What's the feel with this team in Winnipeg? We've been talking about it here. People are talking about an older team. What's the feel there, Kenny?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's sort of more of a rejuvenation than old. Again, I didn't cover the Bombers at all last year, so I'm kind of 1 year removed from sort of helping out, once in a while when guys are on holidays. But I was able to get down to training camp a few times, and yeah, I mean, the mood there is one of positivity. They feel like with a new offensive coordinator and a bunch of free agent signings that they should be right in the mix in the CFL West, which looks like a version of the Central Division in the NHL in some ways. But yeah, I mean, we know that the talk is around Caleros. Barely over. 2 years in a row with 17 touchdowns. Missed some time last year of his deal, but it's overwhelmingly positive around him. He's a positive guy. He's been enjoying the new weaponry around him. I've seen a lot of touchdowns to Tim White in practice so far, Barney. I mean, this guy looks like a absolute stud to be added. Obviously, Tommy Neal is a guy that Rider fans, I think, are familiar with, but I think he should be interesting. And, Pokey Wilson and Tim White on the same side of the field is something that is going to be interesting. And again, Brady Oliveira is still one of the best running backs in the CFL, and his buddy Nick Dembski, fellow Winnipegger, was back with the number one offense after missing some time in camp here as well. So I think there's a lot of positivity around the team. But again, they got to show it. I mean, this is a team that dipped to 10 wins last year after, I think, 5 consecutive trips to the Grey Cup. So, I mean, they're definitely going to have something to prove going into this season.
What are you seeing when Taylor Elgersma's out there in practice and slinging it? What are your eyeballs showing or saying for him?
Yeah, I mean, really big arm. He's a guy that when you talk to, I mean, again, enthusiastic rookie. I mean, but he's had some games under the lights before. Obviously, fresh face after some of the time with the Green Bay Packers and that. He throws a really nice ball, Barney. I mean, that's the one thing. Yes, he's young. He's getting to learn the system at the pro game and all of those things. But when you talk to people who have been around the CFL game, they're impressed by his demeanor. And Zach himself said his ability to command the huddle as such a young quarterback is something that stands out to him. And that, I mean, again, that's an opinion that I value, given that Zach knows what a quarterback's supposed to look like, both behind center and in the huddle. But again, I mean, whether this is a 1 year transition or longer, I mean, that'll be interesting to monitor. But obviously, he's inexperienced when it comes to the CFL game to some degree. But I mean, again, I think that this is. Nobody wants to have to lean on their backup quarterback in the CFL, even if you have a good one. But yeah, I mean, this is still early phases of the potential passing of the torch, but I don't think that Collaros is ready to pass the torch quite yet. But Elgersma has impressed. I mean, again, I know that the game against the Riders at Saskatoon was not an impressive one, but again, we know that the playbook is pretty, filtered down for preseason, but he's impressed in training camp for sure with his ability to find open targets and having a big arm. And even too, I mean, they got him out in the second preseason game against BC. They got him out in traffic, a couple of design quarterback runs and things like that. So for a big, strong guy that can throw it, I mean, if he can be, and again, I'm not saying he's Josh Allen, but if he has that element to his game also, I mean, that it's going to be a pretty interesting guy to monitor as he moves forward in his career. Again, I don't think he's going to be getting a ton of mop-up duty time, but again, when the starting quarterback is 37, you have to be getting ready. And I mean, the Riders know that too with Trevor, right? So it'll be interesting to monitor. And he's very good demeanor, lots of enthusiasm, and
that's what I wanted to ask. Yeah, sorry, but like when you interview him, like what's he like as a guy? Like you interview thousands upon thousands of pro athletes. What's Taylor like?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to him twice now, but lots of enthusiasm, right? I mean, one of the things he brought up on his own was, Tommy Condell says when the quarterbacks get it in the room, who wants to get better today? And like, he's the guy at the front of the class, like raising his hand saying, yeah, me, Tommy, to me, I'm ready to get better. And, obviously from all accounts, putting in the work to get better. And, it sounds like he's got a pretty natural gift when it comes to the athletic ability side, but a guy who seems very studious, loves the position and wants to succeed. Now, again, there's always that fine line between having to be patient, but, pushing the pedal down to help expedite the process as quickly as you can, right? That'll be the interesting thing to monitor. It looks, again, we didn't get too many. Today was a closed practice. Yesterday I didn't see a lot of short yardage. It looks like Bryce Perkins is going to be the short yardage guy taking over for Terry Wilson, I think, on that front. But again, coaches like to keep the shroud of secrecy alive as long as possible. So not sure if Elgersma will be used in that role. Looks like he is the clear-cut number 2. But again, things develop week to week here.
I'm waiting for Terry Wilson to surface somewhere. He left town, packed up. I don't know if it was a midnight move. It'd be a better story if it was. But was the writing just on the wall for Terry?
I guess. I mean, sorry, I didn't spend a lot of time at camp that first week when the 2 departures or suspension list situations happened. But by all accounts, it looked like Elgersma. I mean, the Bombers had tried to get Elgersma in here for a long time, and we know all about the paperwork and visa issues that prevented him from playing, in the United States. But I mean, this is a guy who is happy to be here. And yeah, I mean, I think if you're Terry Wilson, it seemed like he had been passed on the depth chart pretty clearly. And again, I'm not sure he's a better option than Bryce Perkins, right? Who spent some time under Sean McVay with the Rams. So yeah, I mean, the problem for Terry, I mean, I talked to him 2 years ago when he showed up in town. Maybe it was 3 by now. Came from a big time program, but I mean, didn't really develop a lot in his time. Again, I think he had a lot of athletic gifts and abilities, but the chances when they were there, he didn't really take full advantage of them. So maybe he was just looking for a fresh start somewhere else. Maybe he had something else going on in his life and was ready to roll. But his suspension list went quickly to the release, which, as you mentioned, made us all kind of wonder, where is he going to sign to be a backup?
The senior hockey guy. I want my release. Let's rip up my card back.
I'm signing with Saudi. Get out of here. I'm signing with Saudi. Let's go.
Yeah. Defensive side of the ball. Serezna's in town now. If I look, and I'm not in the weeds on all this, I'm the first to admit, just kind of looking at things, I'm like, well, I think Winnipeg's going to be susceptible defensively. Maybe. What are you seeing on the defensive side of the ball? What can you tell us there?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting with Younger. They tried a bunch of interesting different sets, three-man fronts instead of four, and they didn't show any of that during the preseason, but we saw a little bit of it on Tuesday in practice. So, historically, the last couple of years, it hasn't seemed like they've pressured the quarterback a ton in terms of blitzes, sort of relied on the back end, try to guard against the explosive play. But, Willie Jefferson still is going to be a factor, as you mentioned. Serezna is a guy who can really get after the quarterback. So maybe they're going to get more pressure as long as there aren't as many double teams. But, it'll be interesting to see how all that comes together. Their back end is solid with Evan Holm and Diedrich Nichols and some of those guys. I was really impressed with Major Williams during training camp, and he's a guy who looks like he's won the corner job, but he's also been banged up a bit. Today on the injury report, he was listed as limited, so could be some questions there in terms of how the secondary looks in week one and if they have to do some job share situations. But again, their defense was very solid last year. They just didn't get enough going offensively, and that's part of the reason why Jason Hogan was back to running backs coach, and Tommy Condell was brought in to sort of revamp their offensive structure.
Kenny Wiebe's joining us from the Winnipeg Free Press. Follow him on Twitter at Wiebes World, because I was going to get to coaching staff next. Braylon Addison's into the coaching staff. We got Condell, on the offensive side, offensive coordinator there. The one thing about the Riders the last 2 years before the Grey Cup, you could kind of see, you could sense, like this coaching staff has it, right? They kind of mesh. They kind of seem like, they'll battle, but they're as one togetherness. What do you see from the Blue Bombers coaching staff, because there is some new faces there?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I mean, I think that there's definitely a lot of enthusiasm from guys on the offensive side of the ball. A, because they brought in some weapons. B, because they were ready to try a new system after last year's didn't. They kind of got away from the things that had made them successful for their nice run of playoff success. But I mean, we also know that we know the coaches usually utilize the weaponry that they have, right? So everyone who around the league who's saying, well, Condell isn't going to run the ball, he loves to sling it around the yard. Well, that might be true, but he also hasn't necessarily had a running back of the caliber of Brady Oliveira. And I think that combination of, having a few more weapons in the passing game and also having Oliveira in the backfield. And again, the thing with Brady, Barney, it's not just rushes. I mean, this is a guy who's a great receiver out of the backfield. It's more all-purpose yards with Brady. And they need to get the ball in his hands to be successful. Not exclusively, obviously, because they got great receivers, but they need the ball in his hands in order to, rack up yards the same way they did when Andrew Harris was the number one back here for a long time.
Yeah, I always said that, like, Oliveira out of the backfield, right? He's such a weapon, like that dual threat, and anyone that watches football or knows football, it's like having something like that in your back pocket. It's just such a card to pull and keep teams guessing and all that. I'm trying to look at the schedule, because again, I haven't been in the weeds all that much. What do you think the Bombers' schedule? Because I made a lot about the Riders' schedule this year. I personally do not like how things shake down here, where they had training camp and then it's like guys are going to come back, they'll have new kids and whatever. It seems like it's such a break. We look at the Bombers' schedule. It looks fairly favorable, or am I missing anything?
Yeah, it's super interesting, right? I mean, the Bombers lost all three meetings to the Stampeders last year. So, in some ways, getting them in week one is probably a benefit, right?
So did we.
So that's right. So
two at least.
was one of the oddities on the schedule, right? So I think the chance to, it's a tough matchup for sure. But I think if you're trying to reestablish yourself as a Western powerhouse, you'd love to have it take a swing at the team that beat you all 3 times the year before. So, yeah, and they have a week 3 bye week. So, I mean, that's always interesting because, you feel like maybe it's just when you start to get into the rhythm of games, now you're taking a week off. But again, you got to have the bye weeks at some point. So you take them when they come. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be an interesting situation. And again, the one other thing I should have mentioned about the offense going in here, I mean, the Bombers just haven't had as steady offensive line play since Jamarcus Hardrick left to join the Riders, but now signing Jarrell Broxton. When you get all CFL kind of linemen at that tackle position, it sort of feels like they may be able to reestablish a lot of things, both in terms of keeping Zach Collaros upright and in terms of the, explosion plays on offense. You're probably going to have a little bit more time to find that Pokey Wilson or one of those deep threats, or you're going to be able to expose that second layer of the defense with Brady either out of the backfield or in the rush game. So I think that's another big thing to be monitoring here coming out of camp. But also too, Barney, I mean, again, this is a little bit in the weeds, but right now it looks like Tyler Ellsbury might be starting week 1 at center. So it's another new situation. Looked like Tui Eli was going to be the center, but he was hurt in camp, and he's been limited so far this week. So that'll be something to monitor as well. Ellsbury had a strong camp, but again, it's something new at a very important position, not just in terms of getting the snaps right. I mean, you're picking up the calls and all those other things. So it'll be interesting on that front also.
Big question: do you get to come to the Labor Day game?
Yes, I did raise my hand for Labor Day weekend. So obviously, I was right away when I saw that trip was a possibility. I did raise my hand, and may pack some clubs in the trunk. I'm definitely going to be driving, so I'm going to try to be as prepared as humanly possible here. Let's
maybe get some of the fellas together and get out to the Royal for sure. So we'll be in touch with that. Okay, got to ask you some hockey questions while you're here,
sure,
because you cover the Winnipeg Jets. Jonathan Toews, does it sound like he might be packing it in?
Pretty sure when we talked about this the last time, I tried to paint the picture as best that I could. Again, you never want to speak in absolutes because it's up to the player, and you could wake up one day a month after the season and say, actually, oh, you know what, my body feels better than I thought. And to me, I just the things that we saw in the last day of exit interviews, Jonathan was collecting sticks from teammates. There were a lot of long hugs, like not, again, guys, we know what a see you in the fall hug looks like. To me, there was a lot of, right? I mean, to me, there was a lot more. It was a privilege playing with you, and good luck in the next chapter. But again, you can't assume that until a player is ready to make an announcement. And we know that Toews is still up for the Masterton. I don't. Some people have been speculating that maybe he'll tie in an announcement to that if he happens to win the award. I don't know if that's the case, but again, like basically since April 12th or 17th or whatever day that was, my feeling was that it was definitely heavily leaning towards retirement unless there was a change of heart, and I have not seen any evidence to suggest otherwise. So I mean, if that's the case, I mean, Jonathan literally will go down as one of the most decorated players to ever do it. Honestly, one of the best players this province has produced, and 3 Stanley Cups and a bunch of Olympics and World Juniors and Shootout Central.
The shootout. I mean,
that package. This is a Monopoly special. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. But like his next step around the board is going, not straight to Cooperstown, but like straight to the Hockey Hall of Fame, straight to the, great announcement today for CC. Chris Cuthbert, a guy that, a lot of people in the CFL have a great affinity for. I just was texting with him today. He's absolutely blown away by the news of the Foster Hewitt Award. But to me, Toews is one of the best to ever do it. It didn't go as well as he had hoped, but I think there was a little bit of closure, that ability to come back and be an NHL player in his hometown where he used to go to games and sit in the upper deck and dream of being a NHLer and a Winnipeg Jet one day. That he got to do it, I think when you chalk it all up, I think it was still something that will be a special ending to his career. But I mean, again, he's going to be wearing a Hawks jersey when he goes into the Hall.
Yeah.
Again, we know it's not like baseball where they're doing the jerseys and everything else, but I mean, it's people who are going to associate him with the franchise he spent almost 2 decades with.
30 seconds. Give me a quick prediction. Do you think this one's going 6-7 games, the Stanley Cup final? I think it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, awesome series. I know our friend Franchise is down there. We've been keeping in contact as well. And I did predict Vegas over Carolina in my preseason predictions. And for once in a blue moon, I had the teams right at least. And I did pick Vegas in 6 at the start and currently sticking with it. I just think that their experience and their depth, I think we saw their, obviously a tough start yesterday, but their ability to slow fast teams down with their structure is impressive. And their two-way play is what's going to put them over the top for me, even though the Hurricanes are a wagon and they can score and they can defend. But to me, I got Vegas in 6. What about you? Can they transition the puck on a mistake, Carolina? Right?
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of breakaways for a Stanley Cup final. I got Vegas. I'm hoping for Vegas. Kelly McCrimmon, Braden McNabb, and all that, and then financially works out well if Vegas wins. So, but okay, we'll
a little action on her, dude.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. We'll keep in touch about that long weekend tea time. We'll have to make that happen. Appreciate this, of course, Kenny. Maybe we'll catch up in a few weeks.
Sounds good, my friend. Thanks for having me, and enjoy the rest of the show. Cheers.
Right on. There he is, Kenny Wiebe. Again, great follow on Twitter at Wiebe's World, covering the Blue Bombers this year from the Winnipeg Free Press. It is the Sports Cage. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk some World Cup of Soccer. We'll be right back.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Rent a water heater and water softener starting at about $1.20 a day and get $400 when you switch to Reliance Heath.
I'm going to be watching it. Not even a basketball guy. Game 1 of the NBA Final goes tonight. It's New York in San Antonio. Spurs favored by 4.5. Western Canadian Baseball in Moose Jaw. Wabers in town, 7:05. First pitch if it goes. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays Atlanta, 5:15. In the SportsCage.com poll today, who will win the CFL's East Division? Vote at SportsCage.com. Brought to you by Reliance Heath. Rent a water heater and softener together at just $1.20 a day. Visit Reliance Heath for more information. Back out in the Western Pizza Guest Hotline, I told you we're going to talk some World Cup of Soccer. Joining us, our soccer insider, Lee Kormish. You sent me your schedule, and I just love it. Where are you today? Are you back at home by chance?
Yeah, we got home last night from Edmonton. Tomorrow I depart for Montreal. Canada plays their last preparation match against the Irish, a team that we wanted to be in the World Cup because the Ireland fans are the best, but unfortunately the Ireland, it's just going to be a practice game for them. And then after that, on to Mexico City for match number 1.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to catch up when you're in Mexico City and give us the vibe down there. Alphonso Davies, I read that yesterday that he's out for the first game for Canada.
I read that as well, and geez, man, I hope there's a way they can find him to play in that first game. But you know what? They might be just resting him a little longer, and hopefully he's in that second game against Qatar.
Yeah, when you look at Canada, and I'm looking at the odds, and then, we got Spain at 5.25, and then France, and then England, and then it really starts to dip. Is this a 3-horse race for the winner of the World Cup? Canada's way down at 145 to 1, but just I'm not soccer guy. I'm going to watch it. I love it. I think the atmosphere and everything is just fantastic. How many teams can win this thing?
There is 9 teams that can win the World Cup. Doesn't matter what year it is. There's 9 teams that can win the World Cup. So is it a 3-horse race? No, I don't think so, because I don't have any of those 3 teams winning the World Cup this year. Spain is the favorites. They are the number 1 ranked. They are the favorites, but they just won the Euro, and it's tough to win 2 tournaments in a row. France, on paper, they have the best players in the world. When you look at the top 100 players in the world, more of them come from France than any other country. They have the best player in the world in Dembele. But I tell you, man, there's just one thing missing from France. It's a general. They don't have a Zinedine Zidane. They don't have an Antoine Griezmann. And sometimes in these tournaments, things kind of fall apart for the French. So they need someone to be that guy. And I don't think they have that guy. They have the talent, but I don't think they're winning this tournament. England, gosh, man, that manager made some mistakes. I don't know how you can leave Trent Alexander-Arnold off the roster. I don't know how you can go into a World Cup without Cole Palmer. Even though, there's reasons to leave them off, you don't leave X factors off your roster. So, I was thinking England could do it, but I think they're in the final maybe, but they're not winning it.
Okay, I might like to sprinkle from time to time. So where's the value for me in this, Lee?
Well, you know what? There is for me. I think I kind of hope I'm right, but for me, Portugal has everything. And in 2022, it was Messi's World Cup, and Cristiano Ronaldo's only missing one thing. He's not the big man on campus in Portugal anymore, but Portugal has everything. And the favorites, it's tough for them to win these tournaments. So I'm looking at a team like Portugal. Okay. There's this one guy, he's picked the last 3 World Cup winners correctly. And he just announced who he was picking, and it's the Netherlands. Well, the Netherlands have been the bridesmaid 3 times, right? So I don't know if the Netherlands have it, but that was the expert that's gotten the last 3 right. That's who he picked.
1950 Netherlands is paying on Sports Select. That's some sweet action there. Hey, how do you feel about FIFA's treatment of fans?
Okay. You know what? The old regime of FIFA, their last World Cup was Qatar. That's Joseph Blatter. That is João Havelange from Brazil. That was their last one. And they're known for their corruption. And so FIFA wanted to get away from the corruption. They've now got this new polished look and, everything's beautiful. We're not corrupt anymore. We're going to do everything honestly. But do you know what's replaced the corruption? Greed. They are so greedy. Listen, the ticket prices they're accurate, but to an extent. But there's a problem with the tickets is when you used to buy tickets for the World Cup, you were going to that game. If you couldn't, you would put it back on the FIFA website. If you paid $300, you would get your $300 minus 10% back. You could not inflate the price. This World Cup, the resale platform has said, welcome scalpers of the world. Come buy our tickets, get into the lotteries, and resell for whatever you want. So now you've got tons of tickets in the back pocket of scalpers. And if you sell a ticket for $300, well, you're not, but if you sell it for $300, you take a 15% hit, so you lose $45, and the payer has to pay a 15%. So FIFA in their resale is now gaining 30% for every ticket resold. So they're actually promoting it. So now you've got the regular diehard fans are priced out.
Greed, like you said. I love it. Wow. Man, I'm glad I'm.
Yeah, you know what? I want to tell you another thing. So the way the stadium maps were set out is you would have the diehard fans with affordable tickets right behind the goal. They'd go from behind the goal and they would just wrap around the corner. That was your category 3. That's where you would have your fans that you can be working any job, you can have any type of income, you can afford those tickets. Mm-hmm. They've now changed their seating maps so that your category 3s, they're not there. They're nosebleed, upper back corner, and it's disgusting. So you've now replaced the hardcore fans with rich fans, not taking away from the fan part of it, but you need a lot of money to be sitting behind the goal that's where your diehard passionate supporters would be. And that's why it looked so rowdy and fun back there.
Yeah.
So they brought that as well.
Yeah, the firework thingies and all the craziness that goes along. I love it. Okay, how about Canada hosting it? Like, we're at about 2 minutes left here. But like, what's your feel on Canada hosting it?
Mixed emotions. When the announcement came in that Canada was hosting it alongside United States and Mexico, I didn't like it. I think this tournament should be fully in the United States or fully in Canada. This 3-country sharing the tournament, and it only gets worse from here. There's 6 hosting in 2030. But anyways, with Canada, we're not getting the true hosting experience. We've got Toronto, we've got Vancouver, and I was driving to Regina the other day, and I could see that Mosaic Stadium, driving around the perimeter highway, and I was with my buddy who travels to the World Cup, and I'm like, if you want a true hosting experience, Regina should have a game. Edmonton should have games. Winnipeg should have games. So we're not getting a true hosting experience. And FIFA has checked Canada off its list and North America, and it won't come back for a long time, if ever in my lifetime. So 13 games in Toronto and Vancouver. This just doesn't cut it for a true country hosting experience.
Okay, we're going to catch up throughout this thing because you're just amazing. What's your personal mission? Like I said, you sent me your itinerary. I love it. What's your mission over the next, I guess, month or weeks or whatever?
So I applied to Guinness World Records to try to get some type of record to go with it, but they denied me. They didn't want what I was suggesting. So my mission is there's 16 cities hosting, there's 16 stadiums. So my mission is to get to all 16 venues.
Oh, doable?
It's going to be exhausting. It's doable.
Which is the toughest one to get to?
Oh man, Guadalajara and Monterrey. Wow, that's difficult. Hey, when I fly to Miami, I actually have to stop in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and then I get to Miami. So I'm 3 hours in San Juan before I get to Miami for Uruguay, Saudi Arabia.
Well, you're going to be documenting everything on your socials so everyone can kind of check in on that. And I guess when we do our hits, we're going to have to make sure you got stable internet because maybe on your travels, some of it might be dicey. I just had a quick text message here. Where will Canada finish? Someone asked.
Oh, that's a great question. Here's the big thing. The big thing is if Canada finishes first in their group, they stay in Canada. They go, the round of 32 is in Vancouver, round of 16 in Vancouver. If they lose, if they finish second, which is going to be a tough game against Switzerland, they go to LA. So they're out of Canada. They don't, after their first 3 games. I think we're going to the round of 16. If we get to that's the big one. Round of 16 is where we should go. To win and get to the final 8 quarterfinal, that would be monumental. That would be massive. I think we go to the quarterfinals, and then it's going to be a free-for-all, man. That's going to be a great one.
Awesome. Okay, let's catch up quickly. Safe travels, Lee. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you very much.
There he is, our soccer insider, Lee Kormish, joining us on the Sports Cage. Exciting stuff. Kind of got me excited. I wish I was traveling to all those places. That'd be fun. It's the Sports Cage. We're up against the clock. Coming back, Eric Francis in Hour 2. We're back after the news. Welcome. We're back. Hour 2. Curtis is with me. Sports Cage for Regina Motor Products on this Wednesday. The Prairieland Rentals text line is buzzing. Prairieland Rental, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner, whatever you need rental, or if you want to buy a Husqvarna for the lawn garden. We started it earlier in Hour 1, and it's this day in music history. Had to do with the Doors. And they were on the Ed Sullivan Show. They asked him to change some lyrics. They did in rehearsal. Then when they played live, they didn't. This is in 1967. And I just, it might be a new segment on the show where we just say, what's people's take on the Doors? It's a band that I've never got. Curtis is trying to tell me that he likes them. He's sitting here during the news, singing the song while reading the lyrics, so he doesn't really know it. Light My Fire. And I'm like, you're reading that off your screen. He's like, yes, I am. Text line. The Doors are terrible. They should close the door to that music. Ha, if you get the joke. I just said, I thought it was funny. This person gets it because their text above says, hello, can you play 24 Roses by Shenandoah? This person and I can be friends. They don't have a name. Roscoe, he likes the Doors. He also says, I like Jethro Tull. Yeah, you're not. Roscoe, you and I ain't going on any road trips, or we're agreeing on the music. Frank on the text line, the best thing about the Doors is you can always slam the door shut and turn out the lights. Not a fan, Frank. So we are going through the YouTube chat, but the Prairie Land Rentals text line, and we are about 15 hate and 13 like for the Doors. That's including Kenny Wiebe, who was one of our guests in hour one. He says he likes the Doors. Not a big fan, but he enjoys them. 936-6262. You want to talk sports? Go ahead. You want to talk about the Bombers and what Kenny Wiebe said? Go ahead. Or you want to vote on, are you a Doors fan? Brendan on the text line, everyone has that band they love and those they hate. For me, I have an irrational hate for Rascal Flatts. Nail on a chalkboard. I want to. We can keep doing this with bands that you hate, but today I need people's take on the Doors. Brad up in Saskatoon. There we go. Hard no, he says. Okay, keep them coming. While you keep them coming, let's have some fun with Eric Francis. No, he's not there.
We're working.
Oh, we're working. We're efforting.
He's got bad internet today, so I might have to give him a call. We'll see. Give me 1 second.
Bad internet. Where is he? Lee Kormish just said he's going to Guadalajara on some sort of raft.
He's in his hotel room, but give me 1 second. I'm efforting it, as you say.
I don't. He stays in the best hotels, always, and every time it seems that he's unless he's in California by the pool, he's got bad internet. I don't know. We can go back to some of these text messages on the Doors. Travis, there's a regular. Coming in. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side. I know those lyrics. It's just only good one according to me. Okay. So what are you saying? What am I putting you down, Travis? A like or a no like? James? Now you're getting the project, James. Love the Doors, he says. Touch Me is on my playlist somewhere. James, okay, here we go. Okay, play the intro if he's ready to go with some suspect internet.
Now for Inside the NHL with Eric Francis on the Sports Cage. Inside the NHL is brought to you by Sports Select. Getting in on more of the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer.
If I know you, like I think I know you,
yeah,
you don't like the Doors.
No, they don't do much for me.
You
got me?
Yeah, we got you. Rather not listen to them. You can listen to them. They're nails on a chalkboard kind of to me.
Yeah, they just never really resonated with me at all. I'm not really. Why are you asking for?
Your internet's. I don't know what hotel you're staying in. Again, you're leaning up on your headboard in your. I get, but we gotta have to call you. We gotta call Eric. See, I knew he wouldn't be. I knew he wouldn't be a Doors fan. He's covering the Stanley Cup final, obviously, in Raleigh, North Carolina. Which, what a game last night. Is everybody watching it? I don't know. But, yeah, we'll get his take on that as I just got to send Curtis Eric's number here, and he's going to write it down for safekeeping for next time. More Doors talk. Who do we got here? Greg, love the Doors. You're crazy. Okay, sure. We're putting you down for a like. Paul, like the Doors. Don't love them. Are they an in-between band? See, it's kind of where Kenny went. I find it's either you love them or you hate them. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm okay. Any more of the regulars? Rose, are you listening today? What's Rose think? Paul, not a Doors fan. Never. Joe, not a Doors fan. Okay. He's on the phone line now from his hotel room. Why I'm asking about the Doors today? It's just one of those. I'm a curious guy, right? So I like to ask weird questions sometimes. But it's the story, and you might have heard this story before. That it came up on this day in music history, 1967. Light My Fire was released. Then they went on the Ed Sullivan Show, and they were asked to change the line, "Girl, we could only get much higher." Sponsors were uncomfortable with the possible reference to drug taking, so the band agreed to take it out. They did the rehearsal, took it out, but then when they sang it live, Jim Morrison, the rebel that he was, he used the original lyrics. And they were furious and said, "You'll never appear on the Ed Sullivan Show again." So it just got me thinking when I read that today. I'm like, man, I don't like the Doors. Like, is there a lot of people that like the Doors? So that's where that all stemmed from, Eric.
People like Jim Morrison. He was a character. He died too young, all these things. And I think that's part of it. They've never resonated with me. But, I like a lot of these music, so, everybody's got their different thoughts. Like, when you ask me, do I like the Doors, it makes me think of like one group that I really don't understand the mass appeal of, and that's the Rolling Stones. Like, I guess I appreciate their longevity. I certainly appreciate their longevity, the characters involved, but I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they've got 4 or 5 toe tappers, and that's a hell of a lot more than most other bands ever have. But I'm not. I remember being asked one time when they were coming to Calgary, and it was like $1,000 a ticket just to get in the door because it's the Stones. And my buddy goes, "I got a free ticket if you want to go," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm not going to go."
Well, free ticket to the legendary band, though, man, that I don't know if I'd turn that down. Now, if it was the Doors, I don't think I would go. But to the Stones do have toe tappers.
Yeah, like they've got 3 or 4 bangers for sure, and a bunch more that I'd probably be like, "Oh, I forgot about this one. They're pretty good." I'm just saying, it literally came down to that, and that's the ultimate test. A guy says to me, "I got tickets. They're really good seats. You want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." Like that tells you what I really think about them. So anyway,
while we're on the Rolling Stones thing, I didn't see him when they came to Regina. It's right before I moved here. I was dating my now wife. We drove by the stadium, and I'm like, I think we missed out. I think we should have went to this thing, but we didn't. They played 2 nights, whatever. Life goes on. The thing about the Rolling Stones that always baffled me, again, I'm a weird one sometimes. I'm a different duck. Charlie Watts, the drummer, every time I would watch the Stones play live, on TV or their videos, he had 3 drums. Like, he did everything with a snare drum, a bass drum, and 2 other ones. Now they have the 30 drums, and while you look at Rush,
double bass,
the double bass. He made everything happen with the discount consumers distributing drum kit.
Here we go with consumers distributing again. No, but see, to me, that tells me there were more drums available. It tells me he couldn't play them. That's just you always talk about they talk about Ringo Starr. Boy, are we ever going off the rails here? But Ringo Starr, they always said he wasn't even that good, and he didn't play if you did a drum solo, it was pretty rudimentary. It wasn't significant. It wasn't like Nikki Sixx, or some of these guys were
not Nikki Sixx. You're thinking of
Sixx is the one
arm guy. What's his name? Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee.
Or Neil Peart. There's another band, Rush, I never understood. Oh, my God.
Neil Peart. That's the Rush. Yeah, I saw them live at the Agrodome. I'm glad I went and saw it. Geddy Lee had 2 guitars, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy stuff. And then Neil Peart on the drum kit. Absolutely loved it. Okay, well, we can more music talk coming up in the show. 3 drums. Okay, last night, Eric, it's like a minor hockey game. that's really exciting to watch, or I don't even know about a junior game, like our senior game or something, where it's like no lead was safe, 2-0, and I just felt in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I should put an in-game bet here on Vegas to come back. I just feel it. But then I was like, you know what? Carolina is all over them. They're turning the puck over. The transition of Carolina, unbelievable. First 15 minutes of the game, I thought it was going to be a blowout. But then, hold on, here comes Vegas. You're watching it live. What's your recap of the game?
Like, you know, it's loud in there. It's not as loud as Vegas, but it's pretty loud, pretty raucous crowd. And it's like throwing a match on kindling when they score 25 seconds in. You're like, oh, boy, okay, interesting. And crowd's going nuts. And you didn't know, like, one team was a juggernaut on the East, one was a juggernaut on the West. How would they mesh when they met? And then when they went up 2-0, and it's all Nikolai, it's the Ehlers show, you're like, oh, my. And shame on me, because I've been covering this Vegas team throughout the playoffs. This team, that's their hallmark, coming back.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Like, that's what, when this is all said and done, whether they win the cup or not, and from what I saw last night, it sure looks like they're going to. Like, people will remember that they were the comeback kids. Listen to this stat. This is unbelievable. Since Tortorella has become their head coach, they've won 20 games. They have come back in 12 of them.
Wow.
Of their 13 playoff wins, 7 are comebacks, including that 3-0 deficit they had against the best team in hockey in Colorado. Like, this is insane. They just don't. They're like honey badgers. They don't care. Like, it doesn't matter what the scenario. And I thought it was interesting. They talked about there was a very fortuitous TV timeout midway through the first period when they were down 2-0, and they all kind of gathered on the bench. They didn't have to call a timeout. They kind of just had a natural one handed to them. And they said Tortorella just settled them all down and just reminded them of what they do, which is come back. But the only way you come back is when you play your game. As Tortorella was talking to us today about, he said, you know, a lot of teams, or Mark Stone said it, he said, you know, a lot of teams, when they get down early or get down at any point in time, they start to change their game, and that's when things can really get away from you. They just stuck to their game, and at the end of the day, their game is better than anybody else's in the world right now, so why wouldn't you stick to it?
We've talked about, you know, Marner for the playoff MVP, maybe Carter Hart. I heard a crazy one today. A guy says, "Oh, what if Brett Howden keeps scoring?" I don't know about that for the big award, but talk about value in a guy like that for Vegas.
Well, guys like that are found money, right? Like guy leads the playoffs in scoring. Brett Howden, who had that on their bingo card? Nobody, right? But that's kind of the key to winning the Stanley Cup final. They've had a different hero every single night. I agree with you. Like, Marner is the consummate trophy winner if it ended right now, and he had a huge block shot in the final second.
Oh, yeah.
Which everybody's raving about. Actually, Mark Stone had a funny line about that. They're like, man, what does it say about a guy like Mitch Marner that, you know, he blocks that shot and everybody right away goes straight to him to congratulate him before they even go to congratulate Carter Hart? And Mark Stone said, well, he was in the way. He was in the way on my way to Carter Hart, so I had to say something nice to him. But it's you know, they just go through the lineup. Dorofeyev has had, you know, he's second leading scorer in the playoffs. Like, he's been incredible at times. You know, Mark Stone's played hero one night.
Hurdle.
Colton Sissons. Hurdle was the hero last night. Sissons was the hero earlier in the playoffs. Like Cole Smith. People didn't even know his name, you know, 3 weeks ago, and he was a hero one night. So everybody's getting different, you know. But to me, the best player on the ice last night and the guy who turned the game around was Theodore. Shea Theodore scores to kind of salvage that first period where they were getting caved in. And then he makes that incredible play to Howden to put them up 4-3 in the third. Just everything he did that night was incredible, and yet this was a guy who started the game making a big gaffe that allowed Ehlers to go in alone and score the opening goal. 25 seconds in, but he bounced back from that to be the best player in the game. So, again, different hero every single night, and that's how you win Stanley Cups.
What was that atmosphere? Have you been to a game there in Raleigh at Lenovo Center? Yes, it's loud. I heard it's one of the best tailgates, if not the best tailgate in the NHL.
It is. I mean, there aren't a lot of teams on the list that have tailgates. It is by far the best one, and it's one of the only ones. Like cornhole being played everywhere. As you come in, there's a group of people saying honk if you like hockey, and so the horns are going. I was there for a press conference with Gary Bettman yesterday at 4 o'clock for an 8 o'clock game. And at 4 o'clock, there were thousands and thousands of people already set up with their hibachis, drinking, sitting in their lawn chairs. Like, what a unique concept it is to tailgate for a hockey game. You know what I mean? That's just foreign to us, like, especially because it's, you need nice weather, which we only have at this time of year in Canada. But, yeah, they're all for it, man. Like, we got Canadian liquor laws where you can't do that sort of stuff in most cities. They live for it, man. It's pretty awesome.
Going into game 2, guess what the aftermarket get-in price is for a ticket tomorrow, Canadian? I just looked it up.
Oh, what is it?
We don't want to guess. You want to play along?
Because I think
upper deck, one seat.
Yeah, I bet you could get in for a fraction of what you'd get into in a Canadian rink, like $300 or $400, because everything's cheaper here, right?
Nope. $980, the cheapest ticket for tomorrow night right now.
Whoa.
And
the Caniacs are nuts. And
when it shifts to Vegas, not a bad place on the map. You're not getting in right now for game 3 for under $1,100. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Hey, the base prices for, what season ticket holders pay when it gets to the final is outrageous. So the scalpers have got to make even more than that. So, yeah, I guess that makes sense. We are in the final. There's 2 teams left, and everybody wants a memory of a lifetime because it's been 20 years since the Hurricanes won it, and it might be another 20 before they get another chance. So that's the way people look at it too, right? Like, how many chances in my life am I going to get a chance to go to Stanley Cup final game? And hey, 10, 12 minutes into that game last night, people are like, this is the greatest night of my life. If you're a Canes fan,
yep.
The crowd's going nuts, the towels are waving. Mm-hmm. It's a memory for a lifetime. Like, even just as an observer, I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. Like, this is a moment, right? These are moments.
It's like
and then it all fell apart.
Sold out stadium for a concert, and then the doors come on, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
But guess
one of the Beastie Boys coming on. Give me something good.
Here is a contrast. Guess for game 3 of the NBA final, because the Knicks are in it, right? And you've been to New York. If anyone's ever been to New York, like, the Knicks make the NBA final. You knew this was coming. Baseball, yes, huge. The Rangers, yes, it is just a market where we think that Canada hockey ends at the border, and it's like people got to go and see how Ranger fans and all this. But anyway, to the Knicks, get-in price for game 3. Sorry, this is game 4 at Madison Square Garden. Canadian, 1 ticket. You are way up there, obviously. $7,558.
Yeah, different tax bracket, different city, different world, different situation. Like, I don't pay a lick of. I don't watch NBA. Like, my first reaction when I heard the Knicks were in the final, I'm like, Patrick Ewing must be having a hell of a season. Like, I do not care. I do not follow it. That's the last time I ever would have watched a Knicks game, when Patrick Ewing was roaming in the paint there. So, so the fact that they're back, I get it. That doesn't happen very often in New York. And I have seen photos since of all the celebrities. Puts the Lakers to shame. how many celebrities are showing up for the Knicks. But again, it is pretty rare, so everybody's coming out.
It is. What are you thinking about the All-Star format and what's going to happen there?
I love it. I mean, I'd be shocked if you found anyone who didn't think it was kind of cool. I'm not saying everyone's going to tune in. Like, can't wait for the All-Star game, but when they opened the press conference yesterday with the news, I'm like, that's good on them. Everyone's obviously trying to find ways to make that thing interesting. So many people just want it to go away. But when they announced that they were going to bring it back, I'm like, oh, boy. And then they opened with the skills competition, which is for 25 and unders only. I like that. And then, countries playing 3-on-3. Look, nobody's going to care. Like, if anyone thinks these guys are this is for my country and they're going to really strap it on, that's garbage. But it does add another element that makes me want to watch it. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, I don't think. Where's it going? Where is it? Didn't even hear that. Where's it going to be?
UBS, Long Island.
Ooh, that's an excuse.
Tickets $8,000.
What's that?
Tickets will be $8,000.
Media pass.
No, they won't.
Pull some strings.
Yeah, I'll get you beat, but no one will be there. So
the one time we went to play Bethpage, we stayed in Long Island and went to some bars around there. Super fun. Totally different vibe than the city. It was actually pretty cool to hang out in Long Island. Let's end with this. I didn't know that he was an agent, but I talked to Frederick Anderson and then Rasmus Anderson. Claude Lemieux was the agent to a lot of these guys, Eric.
Yeah. I mean, I knew he was an agent. I'd see him at the rink, and I knew that's what he's been doing for a lot of years. And he was a good one. But those two guys you just named were two of his longest tenured clients, and both of them had hit pretty hard. I think it was pretty well publicized, that Anderson was dealing with that, the day he had to kind of close out that series against Montreal. But I think a lot of people didn't realize he also was Rasmus Anderson's agent. So I had a long chat with Raz about how powerful, this was. And, Rasmus Anderson played junior hockey in Barrie with Brendan Lemieux, Claude's son. So not only was he his agent who discovered him in Sweden when he was 13, he was, also having beers with the boys, while he was a junior, and also be his agent. And they were working very closely this year to figure out how Anderson's season was going to play out, and also on what his next contract's going to look like. They were really tight to the point where he was actually wearing shoulder pads in honor of Claude Lemieux last night. Did you hear that story? It's a pretty cool one. I tell you that one. So when he first met Rasmus Anderson, when he was 13, 14 in Sweden, Anderson got a shoulder injury that was very similar to a shoulder injury that Claude Lemieux had. And to this day, Anderson still wears extra padding in one side of his shoulder pads based on some advice that he got from Claude Lemieux. And so he wrote CL22, that was Lemieux's number, on his shoulder pad, and was wearing it last night, and will wear it the rest of the playoffs in honor of Claude Lemieux.
Wow,
it's pretty cool. He's got, Rasmus has got Johnny Gaudreau stitched into his skates as well. I mean, he's honoring a lot of his fallen friends here, so that's pretty cool. But let's not end it on a note like that. I have a question to end it on, and then maybe I'll give you the answer on Friday, but. Elliot Friedman, Kevin Bieksa, Bukowskis, Ron McLean, they invited me to dinner tonight. We always, if I'm with these guys on the road, I go to dinner with them. But Bieksa is kind of the new guy in the group to some degree, and he comes from the hockey world where, one guy just pays for everyone. Everyone goes, lights it up, nice bottles of wine. We're going to the fanciest steakhouse in town, the Angus Barn. It's legendary. It might be the most iconic place in the league for dinner. And Bieksa is saying, well, Elliot organized it, so he has to pay. Now, I know you and I look at that and go, that is ridiculous. The guy who organized it should be praised, but he doesn't have to pay. But we're talking about an NHLer, right, where they're so used to everyone having deep pockets. Do you think there's any chance Elliot gets up without paying tonight? Or is that just a pipe dream that Bieksa is going to push hard? Because he pushes these narratives hard.
Oh man, I don't think you can expect, because I'm sure you guys aren't going to Chipotle, so it's going to be somewhere that's going to be a hefty bill. I wouldn't let it fly, but I get how you're saying. It's like credit cards in the hat. I've played that game once with guys in San Diego.
Yeah, did you lose?
I was like, this is a debit card. Yeah, it was years ago. I'm like,
I got a limit here, boy.
But that's it. If they do that, throw your debit card in there. This is my Strathmore Credit Union card.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's a veteran move. I've played that game probably 8 times, and I bet you 6 or 7 of those 8 times, it's the dude who says, "Hey, let's play credit card roulette," who always loses. So it is fun. It is nerve-wracking. It can be expensive. It can also be free. But I'll tell you what, don't ever be the guy to suggest it just because you think it's a novel idea, because the credit card gods will get you almost every time.
And now that I remember, I know what happened. The guy that I think it was his idea, like you said, he had some fancy black credit card that was like heavier than a regular card.
What a dummy.
And when it picked out, it was at the bottom. And man, I just remember staring out at the water in San Diego going, I am so lucky I didn't have to pay for that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. You're going to have to report back on Friday for sure.
I will. And that guy with the platinum credit card or whatever, the titanium, whatever, you gotta do the reverse draw too, to have some fun with it, right? So she pulls out a card, the server pulls out a card, and then he's safe, and then pulls out another one, and that guy's safe. So you know what I mean? There's more drama. It's no fun if you just dig in and grab a card. That's where the guy with the heaviest card has the worst thing. He
you know what?
Victimized the most.
You know what? My West Side brain right there, I don't mind that game because I got to go do a bathroom break, and I would go to the server and I would say, hey, do you see this card? I got $50 if you pull this card first. Don't ask any questions. And then you're off the hook, and then no one's the wiser. It's like my Columbia House deal that I did that I told you about a long time ago.
Me too. Yeah.
What do you got, Curtis?
I love it.
The real pro strategy is, instead of card roulette, you do tap roulette. So everyone taps their card, but you just got to pull out the card that you specifically have tap turned off, and then you never lose.
Oh, veteran. I like that.
I love to steal.
He's a young kid. He stole a TV from someone that was sitting in a hallway at an apartment complex in Fort McMurray once, and he used it. It just went down. And I'm like, he just took someone's TV from the hallway? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, I don't know, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
And was it a tube? Well, you're young. It wouldn't have been a tube TV because those are hard to steal. They're heavy.
We've talked about that. Okay, report back on the supper tonight for sure. Go around the table too. Get everyone's take on the Doors, and then report back on Friday.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was asking a bunch of the guys today about bands you don't like. That's funny because overrated bands.
And then if you really want to stump them, you say, here's some trivia. Name the senior hockey team that Kelly McCrimmon was a player coach for in Saskatchewan. See if Ron will get that one.
Okay, I'll ask Ron. By the way, you almost started a brawl at the press conference today because when we were talking about bands you don't like, overrated bands, whatever, some American guy opens his mouth and goes, says that someone said Bruce Springsteen was overrated, and I'm not going to say that. Somebody said Bruce Springsteen, and he got so mad that he goes, says someone whose country's proudest export is the tragically hip. And I'm like, dude, don't go there.
Oh, obviously.
First of all, they weren't.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, he's never heard of the Bare Naked Ladies or Cashton or Gordon Lightfoot. Yeah.
Well, then he started ripping into Bryan Adams. He just got ugly. So that's all your fault. That's on you.
Did he have a tattoo?
Well, we were waiting for Tortorella.
Did he have a tattoo on his neck?
No. No, he didn't.
Big jacked up truck.
There could have been a fight.
Sunglasses, white sunglasses on his head. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Friday.
On the hat. Yeah, okay.
Friday, we'll touch base. Thanks, buddy. Later.
Cheers.
Eric Francis, NHL Insider, brought to you by Sports Select. Every bet is 100% legal. Chance of winning cash in hand when you're ready to play. Play with Sports Select. Must be 18 plus to play. SportsSelect.com. It is a Sports Cage. We're on the home of sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. All right, welcome back. Are you running the intro for Clutch Performer? Okay, before you get to that, we'll do Clutch Performer in a second. Let's just get through some of these text messages. Prairie Land Rentals text line. I kind of had a feeling that this topic would get great engagement. And it's way more than the regulars. Millsy, The Doors, not on my playlist. Another no. Travis, who's a regular, you can put me as a like. Dougie from Aylesbury, I can take The Doors or leave them. Or leave. I'm putting you down as a no then, Doug. Captain Harvey says, you're all country fans? Wow, I like all kind of music. What do you want to play, Captain Harvey, besides The Doors? And I'll actually even sit down and listen to some jazz music once in a while. Okay, no name on this one. Oh, this is our friend from Holly Pond, Alabama. I really want to go visit him during college football season. Not a Doors fan. We are backwoods community, and teams that I played, you would hear Outlaw Country, Waylon Willie in the dressing room, and Bob Seger. I get that. Hank Never Done It That Way. Oh, there's a good tune right there. Listening to that the other day. Terry in Montana, another American listening to the show. Howdy. Almost happy 4th. I love being down there for the 4th. Whitefish. No one on the Doors. As a drummer myself, less is more on the size of your trap set when you're packing it up at night. Yeah, I get that, Terry. That's the Rolling Stones guy. Had, what's his name? He had 3 drums. Made it all work with just 3 drums. I'm not a big Stones fan, but I can take them. Who else here? No name. Not a Doors fan. Never. James is saying that Eric better watch out for BX. Keep the text coming. 936-6262 Prairie Land Rentals text line. Doors or no Doors? Let's get into the Clutch Performer.
The Sports Cage Clutch Performer for Keln Solar. Thinking about saving money by using solar power? Keln Solar is a local family company that can put solar panels on your home, business, or farm. KelnSolar.com.
I don't know. Could just go both teams. The game of hockey last night. It was entertaining. Over-under would have been a nice one. 9 goals scored in total. Vegas had 23 shots on net. Carolina 27. So Carter Hart had 23 saves. Freddie Anderson just 18. Power plays. Vegas didn't even have one. 0 for 0. And Carolina went 0 for 3 on the power play. But I'm going to give mine to Thomas Hertl.
Thomas Hertl.
Game-winning goal with 3:24 left. Although, thanks to Barbashev, thanks to Marner, thanks to Howden, I hit those parlay bets on points, and Stankoven as well. So that's my Clutch Performer for Keln Solar. Do you have one?
Obviously, the Doors. Just kidding. So the BC Lions unveiled one of their new alternate uniforms. They're going Pacific Frost, which I thought those were pretty slick looking. Even saw tweets from our very own Luke Mullender. He was saying that, let me get the actual quote out here, but he was saying if we don't get a Pacific Frost versus Obsidian Green matchup when the Rough Riders play the BC Lions, we all riot. So that'll be cool.
Is that the post? Is that what they put out with the snow and the trees in the background?
Yeah, that's the BC Lions alt.
I guess it's BC. It's the whole province. Because then I think Vancouver blasting, as the snow and trees like that.
They're saying it's a tribute to the mountain snow, rain, and coastal landscape surrounding the lower mainland.
Really overthought it. Like a Doors song.
Marketing teams like to do that.
Okay, Kellen Solar, Lumsden, Saskatchewan, family run. If you've ever thought about solar and saving some money, give them a call. They'll come out and quote. Also big for your livestock operation, so you don't have to move things around. It's all done by solar. Kellen Solar, find them on Google. Visit them in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Brian Munns, friend of the program, has been on before. No to the Doors. Hard no on the Doors. I'm getting some on the personal line as well. Sean says no Doors. See, not a lot of my friends are Doors fans. Not a lot of my friends are Doors fans. We got to do Sprinkle of the Day. We can't. We're going to have to do it in hour 3. We're coming back with our Prairie Golf Gems. Today we're looking at the Prince Albert Cook Municipal Golf Course. What a gem. We're coming back. It's a sports cage on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. We love it. It's one of the local things we do here on the program. It's going to be a bi-weekly, but next week we won't have one because I'm off, so we're doing it today. Prairie Golf Gems, brought to you by Cooper Tires, all the Cooper Tire locations across Saskatchewan, and Trent Dickin and his team at Flooring Superstore, over 20 years of business, cash and carry, or they can find someone to do the work for you, cabin, cottage, farm, whatever. Flooring Superstore on Park Street. If you have a golf course that you want us to showcase here, I know a number of you messaged in last year, really appreciate it. Let us know, 936-6262, and hopefully we can get it on Prairie Golf Gems in the coming weeks. This edition, we didn't do it last year. We're talking about, I think, one of the top courses in the province. I talked about it a lot on the show. I've talked about it a lot on the Nooner. Up in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Cook Municipal Golf Course. Joining us, pro from up there, Ryan Wells. Wellsy, how's it going up there finally that the snow's been gone for, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Like you said, we finally got going here. So we opened up the Thursday before May long weekend for one day, and then Mother Nature kind of gave us 6 inches of snow. So fortunately, we had to close for May long and cancel one of our big tournaments that usually kicks off the season for us. But now we back up and running, and the golf course couldn't be better. It's unbelievable condition, and how it wintered. I kind of joke around, it wintered twice this year, so it's been fantastic. And obviously, all that weather brings the mosquitoes out, but I think that's across the province.
For sure. Okay, you've kind of been up there 2 years now, but you're familiar with the industry, and people might remember you. You were at Elk Ridge for a number of years. The Cook Golf Course, I talk so highly of it. Do you think it's still a hidden gem in Saskatchewan, or are more people, from all over the province coming up and playing it and finding out about it?
I still say it's a hidden gem. When you attach municipal to it, a lot of people think, municipal golf courses are not going to be in pristine condition. They just city-run a facility, but that is not the case here in Prince Albert. We are easily top 5, if not top 3 in the province for layout and condition wise. More and more people though now from Saskatoon, it's golf is booming. So, tee times for the public is tough to get on. So more and more people are now making the trek to Prince Albert to get some tee times and farther north. You got Waskesiu, Elk Ridge, Nipawin, all 4 of us fantastic golf courses, and just hour and a half away from Saskatoon is Prince Albert.
Yeah, and like one thing that I hear, and I see guys from down here and around the Regina area, they're doing like a northern swing, like they're going up and playing as many courses as you named up there. Obviously, Waskesiu is one that everyone wants to hit when they're in the north, but it's kind of a neat pathway where Cook should be the first stop on a lot of these, and I love it, Wellsy. I absolutely love everything up there in the fall.
Oh, absolutely. Fall golf is beautiful, but like you said, it is the trifecta, of Cook, Waskesiu, and Elk Ridge. Either, like I said, the guys from down south making a little boys trip out of it, usually play us on the way up, or, kind of leave early, Waskesiu Sunday morning, catch us on the way home. We either at the front or the end of the trip. But it's a must play.
When you describe the golf course, someone that's never been up there, I think it's so much fun to play in a tournament setting, the risk reward. But how do you describe the golf course? Because there is a lot of trees. It can be open at times. You got water. How do you describe it to people that have never played?
Oh, geez. I would say it's a traditional. We made some changes, but since 1909, it's opened. It has a lot of traditional aspects to it, course design. Well, you said a lot of risk and reward. There's a couple par fours that, do you pull out the driver or do you play it safe? So it's a great golf course for stroke play or even like a match play. Obviously, we have the men's Northern, which is one of our biggest tournaments up here. Match play event, and it's fun to watch.
Let's talk about some of the tournaments. I know you the 2-man, like you said, in May, unfortunately because of the weather. Is it the Northern? Is it full? Can people still get in if they're thinking about playing some match play golf on one of the courses best or one of the province's best courses? And are there any other tournaments?
Yeah, absolutely. Men's Northern is open registration is still available. We almost capped. We go to 112 players just because it's a match play event. And anyone that's a senior, we have the senior men's Northern coming up as well. We have the ladies this weekend. The three big kind of Northerns, and then I host a junior Northern as well.
Right
in the month of July. So, yeah, the Northerns is kind of like, I always say the tagline for Cook is home of the Northerns. We have our 4 big ones to kind of kick off the season. Mm-hmm. And then we started a new one last year in September, the weekend after September long weekend. We have a left-right tournament, which was over 120 participants last year. So, yeah, it's a good way to end the season.
Oh yeah, no, and it's beautiful up there, like we talked about in the fall. What do you think the signature hole is, or maybe your favorite hole there?
My favorite hole, the signature hole, I would say 12 is the par 3 there over the water. But number 5 would give it a run for its money after we did the renovations there with the new green and the 2 new ponds and everything. It's gorgeous. It's kind of anything that we do postcard wise or social media. Number 5 and number 3, those 2 ponds are on there. And then my favorite for some reason is number 13 or dogleg right, par 4. I just think it's shaped beautifully. So
yeah, man, they're all so great. I'm just looking at the website here too, and talk about affordability. You got an adult green fee at $68, adult twilight's $48, junior wants to go out and twirl, you got $31, and then the best way to book is either call or online.
Yeah, absolutely. Online booking is the way of everything now. So everything's a couple touches on your phone to book a tee time, and like you said, for the value, $96 worth of cart to play one of the best in the province is no one's here touching that.
Absolutely. Well, Wellesley, thanks for doing this, hopping on, shedding some light. I know a lot of people that have heard about it don't know, all that much about Cook. Hopefully we enlighten them and they can make the swing up.
No, appreciate the call, Barney, and hopefully you can come up north and swing the sticks here soon.
Absolutely. Cook Municipal Golf Course in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, an absolute gem. Like I said, I think it's top 5 in Saskatchewan. Thanks to head pro Ryan Wells for joining us here on Prairie Golf Gems, brought to you by Cooper Tire. Cooper Tire locations across Saskatchewan and Flooring Superstore. Trent Dickett and his team, they know a thing or two about golf. They also know a thing or two about saving you some money on any kind of flooring, cash and carry. They can find someone on Park Street in Regina. You got a course you want us to showcase on Prairie Golf Gems over the year, let us know. 306-936-6262. We will try and get to that. We are on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 100 years old this year, 620 CKRM.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport is the home of the price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street, the Cooperator Center, Moose Jaw Temple Garden Center, and online at extremehockey.net.
Okay, quick one here. Game 1, NBA final tonight. I know, you're probably like me. You don't really care for the NBA and all this, but this is going to be an interesting series. I might actually watch it. Spurs are favored by 4.5 tonight. They're the second youngest team to make the NBA final ever. Interesting. Western Canadian Baseball League tonight in Moose Jaw. They're hosting Weyburn, 7:05 first pitch, Major League Baseball. Blue Jays in Atlanta again, starting at about 5:15 our time. SportsCage.com poll. Who will win the CFL's East Division? Vote at SportsCage.com. Extreme Hockey and Sport, it's goalie days. Select goalie gear up to 60% off. They got experts on hand for fitting. Appointments can be made for fitting if you want. And enter to win a goalie stick with every purchase. 3 locations, McIntyre Street, the Cooperator Center, and the new one, Temple Garden Center in Moose Jaw. They're local. They support local. Under new management, Extreme Hockey and Sport. Hour 3 is coming up with Scott Schultz. More of your text messages on the doors. It's a Sports Cage. We'll be back after the news. Thank you. Hour 3. If you've been with us the whole time, you've been having lots of fun with us. Thank you very much. If you've texted in the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262. Who would have thought the topic would have been one of the hottest ones of the week? With engagement. Of course it is. Love the Sports Cage listeners that want to talk some music once in a while. It's a bye week, you know. We gotta have fun on the show as well. I know there's probably some people out there, Curtis. They're like, it's not nice to talk music and the Doors. I love the Doors. And you're supposed to be a journalist. No, never said that once. I've never been used as a journalist. Didn't journalism go out with like once the internet came on and podcasting and all that kind of stuff? It's like everything's online now, social media. We've been asking people what their take is on the Doors. The band The Doors. Why? Because in 1967, they released Light My Fire. They appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show. They were asked to change the lyrics because some of it kind of referenced drug taking. So they did in the rehearsal. And then when it became to the live show, they didn't. They sang the original lyrics. So they were banned from the Ed Sullivan Show forever. Just got me thinking. It's one of the bands that I'm like, dislike, don't like them at all. Lots of people do. So I'm just trying to get everybody's take. It's tight, but I would say we have more dislike of the Doors than like from the text messages and on the Prairie Land Rentals text line and from the YouTube chat, and then my personal phone blew up as well. Kurt says Doors, absolutely. And he said the Rolling Stones drummer was Charlie Watt. Yeah, we had that when we were talking with Eric Francis, Charlie Watt, and how he just made things happen with 3 drums, like Consumers Distributing drum set. Who else do we have here? Timmy, not a Doors fan. By the way, Barney, we love you. Captain Harvey and I doing rider puzzles during your show. All right, whatever. Are you guys listening to the Doors, though, while you do the rider puzzle in the background and the Sports Cage? Keep them coming, 936-6262. Okay, we got Scott Schultz coming up. Then we are going to have, if you missed it, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers preview with Ken Wiebe from Winnipeg. We'll talk a little bit about the NHL playoffs as well in this hour. So he's waiting by. Let's go. We have him over video. Scott Schultz.
The Midweek Sound Off, powered by Revive Men's Health Clinic. Treatment for men's ED without pills or surgery. Discreet and confidential. Visit revivemd.com. Lakeview Insurance. Get a second opinion on your coverage with Scott Schultz and his team. Protecting what you built.
Oil and gas show down there, probably Lakeview Insurance. You're just kind of shaking hands, giving people, are you what do they call it, dabbing? Or like the kids do?
Oh, I dab them up. Oh, yeah, lots of chin wags, lots of conversations with the folks on location at the Weyburn Oil and Gas Show.
Busy?
Yeah, actually, you know what? Lots of kids coming through today. Lots of industry folks. Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good little show, and already got some hot leads. If you would believe.
That's what it's all about. What's your take on the Doors? Are you a Doors fan? The band The Doors. Where does Schultz land?
Well, what are we doing? Are we sitting around smoking the peace pipe? I mean, come on, these are dirty hippies. I seem to think that the Doors, didn't it come out that they were a alphabet organization psyop, like the CIA, something like that? Hey,
I don't.
That's what you get from Schultz on a Wednesday.
Maybe
that's what you get. You want to talk some conspiracy? I'll talk your ear off.
AI overview on the Doors. I searched. This is what I searched. Google AI. Why do the Doors suck? It says because people who dislike the Doors generally find their music pretentious, overly theatrical, and dated. Critics often cite frontman Jim Morrison's poetic lyrics as self-indulgent, his vocal style as melodramatic, and the band's psychedelic sound as rinky-dink or corny. I'm on board with that. Me and AI are together on that.
I mean, there's a song here or there. There's a mood, but I mean, there are no iconic sound of a generation. That's for sure.
I'll take like the old guy playing the spoons back in the day or something like the old banjo. Yeah. I'll take that over the Doors any day of the week. Okay, so you're down for a no on the Doors. I'm marking you down for a no.
No on the Doors. The Doors.
What's your take on those Grey Cup rings that they came out with?
Bro. I got an inside look.
You sound like my 13-year-old daughter, by the way.
It is ridiculous, and that's the exact text I texted to Jeremy, because the icon that you're showing is what I saw on social media. So then I immediately texted O'Day, and then he sent me a little, and I just texted him, bro. And he texted me back a little video. There's a video playing inside the ring box about the whole season with the ring in it. It is, I tell you, it is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Where does that shape
They're
up?
They're powerful, though, because... Oh, well, listen. You want to talk about 2007. I mean, we're the ones that kicked this whole thing off. Started the whole thing. Restarted the organization. So you're welcome. But what I will say is... very powerful to have that ring ceremony. A lot of people, the fans, they'll see jewelry, but what the players see, it's not jewelry. It's not a piece of jewelry. It's something that they survive that most players won't. And that's what it means to them. And so to get all the players in a room to present that, the guys to see that weren't part of it and they're on the team this year, that kind of a motivation, that kind of drive to look at what it could be, it's pretty powerful. And I couldn't be more happy. I remember fondly our ring ceremony, and I cannot wait for the season to unfold and us to be doing this again.
Where did you guys do it back then, and how did you guys get? Did you have a box? Was it some sort of bag? How did you get yours, and where was the ceremony?
A ceremony was at Connexus Arts Center, and it was pretty awesome. They came out in a nice, very nice lacquered box, glass top on it. You open it up, and there's the ring in there. Was held, by a magnet kind of deal. Thought it was pretty special. But then you look at what happened to the 13 ring, made our ring look like nothing, and now this new ring makes the 13 ring look like a blip. It's unbelievable, the evolution of these rings.
It's pretty crazy. Cuts came out on the weekend. What were the surprising ones for you?
You know what? It's not really the names that surprise. It's as a former player, it's part of the game. It's the hardest day in football, regardless. Is cut day, and what you're seeing is, some of these guys, we thought, would have played their way onto the roster, but it just goes to show you how competitive those positions are at receiver, at running back, and it just goes to show a lot of times what the fans are seeing when you see these cuts that might come as a surprise is you're just seeing a numbers game. You're seeing a CFL quality athlete that just maybe lost the numbers game or aged out, but they can definitely still play. So it's one of those things where, I mean, as a player, you want to get through it and move on and put it behind you.
When you were playing, Schultz, did you ever have maybe buddies or guys that got cut and they said, hey, it's not going to work out right now, we're going to put you on the practice roster, where the guy said, no, you know what, right out, release me, I think I can land somewhere else?
I never ran into guys like that so much, but it was more of the guys I remember like a Rob Bagg, Rob Bagg, they offered him and in our Grey Cup year, and he decided to go back to school, and he believed in his abilities so much that he would rather go back to school, finish the job there, and then, continue on with his pro career. And, so I saw that a couple of times, but, I haven't seen, the old me against the world, I'm going to make it, and guns a-blazing, they go somewhere else. It sounds nice, but,
Yeah. I think it comes down, Jonathan Kim, the kicker that we were all thinking the American was going to make it, and they go with Hale. He fills the global spot. Where do you land on the global player, the CFL? Is that something they should maybe get rid of?
I don't like it. I mean, brass tacks, if anybody can help your team, get them, right? But the CFL is a Canadian game first. Let's focus on the Canadian athlete. Let's focus on Canadian opportunity. And if it shakes itself out where a global, an American, someone can come up here and do something, well, then great. But we also live in a world of competition, and, this was great, and then all of a sudden the NFL started doing it. So then now you're getting, the throwaways of Euros from the NFL. I mean, it's enough. Let's just focus on our game, what we do well. And, I think the European or the global influence, it should only exist if there's someone capable. We shouldn't be forcing a route. We shouldn't be forcing a way. We should open the doors, but it should be an anomaly. If someone gets through, great. Some rugby player comes, some Australian football player squeaks through the cracks. Some soccer guy fancies himself a field goal kicker. Awesome. Other than that, I'm looking at, corn-fed, grain-fed Saskatchewan Prairie Boys and skill positions and Canadian players.
Western Conference, we're going to hear from Kenny Wiebe from the Winnipeg Free Press in a bit on the Bombers. I don't know how in-depth you've gone for teams in the West. I think the West could be an absolute shootout, dogfight, call it what you want. Winnipeg, though, seems like an older team. Are you seeing that from the Bombers? And then maybe, out of the gate, that's fine, but it's a long, grueling season when your body's aging.
Well, I mean, first of all, I have to say, when you take a look at Winnipeg, everything that they do, very Winnipegish, very Winnipegish. Their whole rise and fall, all of it has been very Winnipegish. Winnipegish on the way up, Winnipegish on the way down. They're getting old. Father Time is undefeated. Let's blow these guys out of the division. Couldn't care less. But here's what I will say. After all of that trash talk and umbrage, they still have earned the benefit of the doubt. But like you said, once the season locks in and the marathon begins and the injuries start adding up, I think Winnipeg could be one of the teams that is exposed.
Yeah. I'm not, after talking to Jock Wilson yesterday, kind of starting to think we got to pay attention to Calgary.
Yeah. Well, the most dangerous team in the CFL is always the team that no one talks about, right? And that's what you're looking at. Calgary, they got a little bit younger talent. No one's talking about them. No one's really looking at them. And they've always found a way in the CFL to be in the conversation some way or another. And so you don't count them out. And like you said, I think the West, it is going to be a shootout. And, to avoid sounding cliche, I really think the West is going to come down to who's the healthiest at the end, because it could be real tight because there's a lot of great competition, and I think the talent is pretty equal.
Do you have an NFL team?
Not really. I mean, I had cups of coffee in San Diego and Pittsburgh, so I kind of, will check in on those teams. But I look at, kind of where the guys are. Like, if I saw Aaron Donald in the past, if he was playing, I would tune in and watch LA. If I saw,
that's where I want to go, because he might be coming back to LA, and then the Rams go out and get Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett is a manimal, and to see what he's done, and then to see him get to that team without a guy like Aaron Donald. So, and Aaron, he kind of quit. He had put in a good career and was satisfied, and he's just like, there's nothing left. But I think, you throw some of these star players into it, and he's got more than enough in the tank to come back. It could be a pretty special D line.
Yeah, they're going all in. It's and that's why they're the favorites for sure. Okay, so we got you down for a no on the Doors. You're down in Weyburn, probably cruising home. What's the last band or artist you played on your iTunes?
Oh man, I listened to like a lot of Johnny Cash, and like Willie Nelson. But the last guy, let's just see. I'll just open it up right now. It's going to go black for a second.
I love it. Yeah, for sure.
But,
let's do it. Give it to us.
But, all right. I'm right there. Strength Beyond Strength by Pantera.
You were getting pumped up to get into the oil and gas show.
I'm going home because I'm going to be tackling supper. You better believe it. Scotty's coming down the highway. The tater tot hot dish better be on the plate.
Oh God, too good. Okay, well I won't talk to you next week. I got next week off. You'll be with somebody else, but we'll catch up the week after.
Awesome.
We'll get to recap Game 1 of the Rider season. Okay, travel safe.
Yeah.
Thanks, Schultz.
Very good. Take care.
Right on. There he is. The old 96er, the midweek sound off. Scott Schultz, brought to you by Lakeview Insurance and Revive Men's Health Clinic here on the Sports Cage. We'll go to break. We'll come back. We haven't done Sprinkle of the Day, Curtis. We're going to go to the basketball game. We're going to come back with Sprinkle of the Day. We still are going to talk to Crofty. And, of course, like I said, joining us from Winnipeg again will be Kenny Wiebe. It's the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM. Okay, it's our weekly check-in with Dan Croft from Croft Electric. He is the owner of the company. Crofty, what are we talking about today? What are you guys busy doing out there?
Oh, how's it going today, boys? We just finished a great staff meeting with the team. So everybody's energized and excited for the summer season. Let's talk about that.
Are you guys getting out with a lot of farms, a lot of houses, a lot of cabins? What are you doing a lot of?
Yeah, the service crews are all over the map right now, to be honest. Yeah, we got one crew out in a farm today, one crew out of Regina Beach working on a home cabin out there, and then our main construction crews are building stuff all over Regina. So yeah, it's awesome. Excited for this year. What
when people obviously when something happens and you need something done quick, like the emergency calls, that's where the preferred program comes in nicely too, but you guys can handle that. But also if people are thinking down the road, it's a time to come out. Maybe if they're looking at financing, you can kind of help out there, give some direction. You kind of can do the right now and also the stuff down the road.
For sure. That's a great tie-in, because both those things tie together, because the more we do work for you, the bit more we can save you money. So being a part of the preferred member and loyalty club, start that process. Get us to know your electrical system. Let us come out and do that renovation, that new overhead service, your hot tub, whatever it is. We got a crew that can do it. But then what it does is we build, and we get to know your electrical system and get to know your electrical service. So then when you do have that emergency call and you need us in a pinch, we can give you that for priority booking. But the best part is we can come out and we probably know already what the problem is or how to fix it quickly. And we can get ahead of it. And that's the real cost savings. That's really where we become super cost effective.
All right, Crofty. Obviously, the socials. You guys are always active on the socials. But best way to find you guys and get a hold of you?
Yeah, the socials, and then this time of day, the office is closed, so check the website out at www.croftelectric.com, and there's a book online piece there. But, during business hours, give Amy a call at 306-586-1333, and we can get you booked in this week, next week, and get you fixed up.
All right, and I'm going to end you. I need a dislike or like on the band The Doors.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, Barney. There's a couple songs that are a little bit of toe tappers, but they're not like really bangers. You know what I mean? Like and not really. I'm kind of the '90s hair band and country kind of guy, so it didn't really fit that.
No, okay, you're down for it. You're down for a dislike. Whatever. Take a seat to The Doors. Okay, thanks, Crofty. Be safe out there. We'll talk to you again next week.
You bet. Have a great week.
There
Bye.
he is. Dan Croft from Croft Electric. Like he said, they got a great website too, croftelectric.com if you want to go there. Okay, Curtis is getting it ready. Sprinkle of the day. We're getting Sprinkle of the day ready. It is for Sports Select. SportsSelect.com. Talked about this a lot. You can make your picks online now. Generate a QR code. We're getting late here. That's a 6:30 tip off. 6:30 tip, as the kids say. If you want to play this one, it is the New York Knicks, used to be called the Knickerbockers, against the San Antonio Spurs. It's actually quite amazing how many times San Antonio has won. I feel really old because I still feel like San Antonio is a new team. But they got that Wembanyama guy, and he makes like three-pointers look like free throws. He's a specimen. They're kind of going a little bit overboard. It's like, we've never seen anything like him. It's like, come on. But yeah, he's special, and they are the favorites. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, you see San Antonio on the pro line is 185. The New York Knicks 385. That in basketball, you got the 5-point spread. Right? So if it's under 5 points, that's considered a tie on pro line. Really fun. That's going 280. If you think it's going to be a back and forth shootout tight game, that's where I would probably land. Now, as for props, I know about much about this as I do Jim Morrison. We have points. Brunson versus Wembanyama. Brunson's a little bit of the dog there, 190. You think Victor will probably, but you never know, 165. So the props are there as well. If you want to look at the NBA playoffs, NHL is back tomorrow. It's all at Sports Select. And then don't forget about the futures. We talked to Lee Kormish about the World Cup and soccer. When you look at the soccer odds, and what did he say? If people didn't tune in hour one or weren't with us in hour one, I said, okay, it looks like it's a 3-pony race. And he said, Chikai. He didn't quite use that, but he said, hold on. He said, I don't think it's the 3. I don't think it's Spain, France, or England, which are the favorites. He said, you're going to best youngest player, Curtis? Follow on here. World Cup winner. He said, he heard somebody, he likes Portugal at 1050, and then he's heard of a guy that's picked, I forget what he said, the winners the last few years, like the Netherlands. And the Netherlands pays 1950 on the futures.
They got a lot of categories, man.
They do. Oh, yeah. If you're a soccer fan or you want to get crazy on the soccer front, you got the group winners. I don't even know what group Canada's in. And he says if Canada wins their group, they play in Canada. If Canada finishes second, they play the rest of their games in Los Angeles. Funny how that works. Oh, he had a great take on FIFA as well. So, if you didn't listen to it, it's on the podcast. Go listen to it in podcast form. Lee Kormish, our soccer insider, and he's trying to hit all 16 stadiums in the World Cup. It's pretty good. The Group B, that's where Canada is.
Group B.
Switzerland is the favorite, 180. Then Canada, 320. Bosnia Herzegovina, great handle, 425. And then, is it Qatar or is it Qatar?
I don't know. You're gonna have to Google that one, Barney. I already went off. I'm already looking at futures for the 2026 Grey Cup.
Yeah, I talked about those on the Rider broadcast the other day.
You did.
Montreal's still the favorite. I think there's some value there with the Calgary Stampeders. Don't tell Jeffrey, though. That's sprinkle of the day for Sports Select. SportsSelect.com. Make your picks online. Generate a QR code. Or you can go use the slip. The old slip, as we've done forever, and get it done at your Lotto Spot retailer. Every bet is 100% legal. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly. Ticker time as we get set for the NBA. I'm going to give you an update on the Blue Jay game right now. And here we go.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
San Antonio, New York, 6:30. Spurs are the favorite, 4.5. Second youngest team to make the finals ever. Blue Jays up 1-0 on Atlanta, top of the second right now. Western Canadian hardball tonight. Moose Jaw hosting the Weyburn Beavers, 7:05 in the Jaw. And the SportsCage.com poll today: who will win the CFL's East Division? Vote at SportsCage.com. Some other cool stories at SportsCage.com today that I was reading as well. Talking about Alberta Watchie on there, more on the Riders, the L'Orange Ice Wolves and their new head coach, the Regina Red Sox report, all at SportsCage.com. The ticker is for Steelcraft Doors, locations in Regina, Prince Albert, Saskatoon, covering all of Saskatchewan. They're made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Steelcraft Doors. Okay, we're going to go to break. Come back. We're going to talk about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's a Sports Cage streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.